So far, it wasn't bad for a prison, and the other girls in his group seemed to accept him without the teasing he expected. He walked into the classroom and noticed that each desk was equipped with tampons, napkins, Sani wipes, and a belt. He had no idea how any of those worked and really didn't want to learn. It all felt way too personal. He headed for a desk in the back, but the teacher waved him to the front and pointed to an empty seat. He settled into his seat as the other girls streamed in, chattering and giggling. Once all 12 desks were occupied, the teacher stood and began. "Good morning, girls. I'm Mrs. Clark, RN, and I'll be your teacher for the next 2 days. Zoe Hannaran will be your monitor. If you have any questions or private concerns, feel free to approach us either privately or aloud. The older girls can also assist the newcomers if they need help." No one spoke up, so she moved to the 3D overlay displayed at the front of the room, which illustrated the female reproductive system in detail, making Lily blush. He wasn't the only one. The 4 younger girls in the class looked equally embarrassed. She began explaining the key components of the illustration and their functions. Lily turned away when she flipped to the next overlay, which depicted red fluid flowing from the vagina. Just then, a knock on the door interrupted her as she turned over the overlay showing a belt. Zoe entered and said, "Lily, please come with me." "Good morning, Lily. You look lovely today," Aunt May said upon their arrival. Noticing his nervousness in his eyes and his fidgeting, she reassured him, "You can relax, this is just a routine procedure we do with all special students. You're not being singled out." She took his hand and led him to a conference room off the main office. Inside were 3 large padded chairs situated past a large table, 2 of which were already occupied. May introduced him to the others. "This is Dr. Ryan, a psychiatrist specializing in gender disorders," said a tall, gray-haired man who stood and offered his hand. "And this is Dr. Roth, a behavioral psychologist," added a slender younger woman of similar height. Lily shook hands with both of them as May continued, "This is Lily Evans. At 17, she is the oldest of our special students this year." Both doctors scrutinized Lily closely, and then Dr. Roth spoke up. "Okay, May, you're not trying to pass off a ringer for us to test, are you?" "Actually, this girl was my nephew, so I should be sure about that," May replied. "But don't let that influence your evaluations in any way." Turning to Lily, she said, "This is just designed to help you fit in and determine any special tutoring or support you might need, so relax and answer their questions as completely and truthfully as possible. I'll see you at 11:40. After May left, Dr. Roth began, "You can call me Joyce today. How long have you been dressing as a girl, Lily?" "For days now," Lily replied. Dr. Ryan added, "You can call me Bob today, but please remember to be honest with us. How long have you been wearing female clothing full-time?" "For days, doctor, and I'm not lying, ask Aunt May, she'll confirm it." The 2 doctors whispered among themselves before turning back to Lily. Bob said, "I'm sorry, we believe you. Joyce is my bullshit detector, and you completely fooled both of us. Please, have a seat, and let's talk." Lily sat down, crossing his legs at the knees and then bending at the waist to smooth his skirt before sliding back in the chair and folding his hands across his lap. "See?" Joyce said to Bob. "Have you ever seen a lady sit more gracefully? Even your wife isn't that genteel. That's why I was fooled, not a single remotely male gesture or response since she walked in, and look at her, there's not a single physical trait that would give it away," she continued. "Do you drink coffee or want a soda or anything?" she asked, turning to Lily. "Coffee would be nice, and maybe a cookie, please," Lily replied. "And the voice, it's a little low but well within the female range," she remarked to Bob as she reached for the office buzzer. When the office girl came in, she requested a pot of coffee, some condiments, and a plate of cookies, then added, "Tell Mrs. Hannaran we'll need the afternoon session with this girl." Once the refreshments arrived, they began asking Lily questions. First, they inquired about his family and any preschool experiences with girls he could recall. They hadn't quite finished discussing elementary school when a knock at the door interrupted them. It was May, informing them it was lunchtime. Could you have our lunches brought in so we can discuss while Lily's out to lunch? Bob requested. You seem to be enjoying yourself, May remarked to Lily as they left for the cafeteria. It's not bad, they're really nice to me, and they both thought you slipped in a real girl to test them, Lily said. They refuse to let that go, don't they? She replied. What? Lily asked. For years ago, during another class of 20, I sent in Zoe as a test because they were using a mimeograph for their reports. It took them almost 2 hours to realize what was happening since she hadn't blossomed yet. May chuckled as she recalled the look on their faces. I can see that with Zoe, sometimes I still wonder, Lily said. They reached the cafeteria, and Lily rejoined Mrs. Clark's group for lunch. Several girls moved closer as he sat down, eager to inquire about what was happening with him. What are they doing to you down in the office? Olivia asked. Should we come and protect you? Emily chimed in. Nothing really, I think they're just trying to figure me out, but it's sweet of you girls to want to defend me, Lily replied. Have to, Claire insisted. You're our little sister, and they kidnapped you right away. I want to teach you how to strut like this. She stood up and demonstrated a sassy walk, her height exaggerating the sway of her wide hips as she did her best Marilyn Monroe impression. Just be careful, my girlfriend might come to visit, and you don't want to cross that she-wolf, Lily warned. Who's your girlfriend? What's her name? I'll take care of her for you, Claire replied. Her name's Vicky, and I don't think so, Lily said. Vicky who? Victoria O'Malley. Her? Claire's eyes widened. I've heard of her. She went to school with my sister Isabel. What did you hear? Lily asked, eager for some insight into Vicky from a girl's perspective. She's the one who drove her stiletto heel through a guy's front teeth when he tried to take her skirt off to check if she was really a girl. Why did he think that? Lily inquired. I don't know, my sister said he didn't say much after she kicked him. I heard she's had 3 or 4 years of karate and told him, no man touches me unless I say so. She's a real tiger, complete with flaming red hair. That sounds like my Vicky, Lily said. I don't think she'd back down from a herd of stampeding elephants. Where do you live, Lily? Claire asked. Lily, who had been on the end, now found himself 3 girls deep in the seat as the rest joined the group. On Euclid, just off 57th, he replied. I live on, Claire began. Euclid and 60th, Lily finished for her. I know Isabel. I heard her dad is a monster. I don't know, I haven't met him yet, but I've heard the rumors too. I heard that if you look at one of his daughters cross-eyed, he'll cut your balls off and feed them to you. I heard the guys that happened to were gang members who lost their nerve when they were supposed to rob the liquor store on 68th. Why are we talking about this mean and vicious stuff? Emily interjected. Open your eyes, Emily. Do you want to get hurt? Olivia asked. No. But a good screwing would hurt, she replied. Are any of you virgins? Lily asked. Claire was the only one to shake her head in affirmation. My sister got by those liquor store robbers, and Daddy lost his job because of it. I'm with Vicky, kick 'em all in the teeth. I remember she missed a month of school near the end of 7th grade, is that why? Lily asked. I'm not supposed to talk about it, Claire said. Let's change the subject, Olivia suggested. To what? Claire replied. Makeup, piped up Julie, one of the girls who had joined the group. Who does yours, Lily? It looks fantastic. You've got to be kidding, Lily replied. I did it at 7 this morning, still half asleep. That's not what I meant. I can see the mascara extending past your lashes. I meant your cheeks, they're so tanned, while your chest is pale. That's the blouse, dear, see? White. Lily said. Do you enjoy wearing girls' clothes? Jeanette, another newcomer, asked. Promise not to tell anyone if I tell you? That goes for all of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lily counted around the group. This skirt and blouse suck. I look much better in yellow or mint green. You'd look stunning in red with that blonde hair, Lily, Jeanette said. If I've learned anything lately, it's that what you see isn't always what you get, Lily replied. I love the dresses. I'm not fond of the wool skirt. I haven't mastered 4 heels yet, and my bra is killing me, Lily admitted. So what else is new? Olivia remarked. There's nothing better than a satin evening gown, 2 1/2 heels, and a strapless, then I feel like a princess. But here, I'm supposed to feel like a student. Boys' dresses don't come in yellow or mint, Vivian, another new addition, chimed in. Then I guess I like girls' dresses because they do, Lily said. Are you wearing panties or BVDs? She asked. Panties, but nylon, not the white cotton ones you've got on, Lily responded. How do you know that? Because your skirt was caught in them when you were in the bathroom before class, silly girl. You were in the girls' restroom? Find the boys, and I'll go in there, Lily retorted. God. Is nothing sacred? Not here. Olivia interjected. Except for Jesus, but he wore gowns instead of pants. What are clothes, anyway? Vivian asked. I think they're what you want others to perceive you as, not necessarily what you are inside, Lily answered. What do you mean by that? I think I look beautiful in this outfit, Vivian said. Glad you think so. Want to put it to a vote? Olivia suggested. What do you mean by that? Vivian asked. I think you're PMSing, Olivia replied. 3 days on the rag will do that to anyone. You bitch. Sorry, she's right, Lily added. There's not a guy I know, even the queer ones, who can't tell when a girl's on her period. So, how long have you been trying to be a girl? Vivian inquired. Trying? According to the therapists in the office, I've already succeeded, Lily said. But after the first half hour in that class, I think I'll be pulling my jeans back out. Why? Olivia asked. The pictures she showed were bloodier than the films they make you watch in driver's ed, Lily replied. That and pregnancy are the only downsides to being a girl, Olivia said. Don't forget about boys, Claire added. Being a girl means dealing with them following you around and doing stupid things. You're a lesbian, aren't you, Claire? Vivian asked. Why do you want to know? Trolling for a date? Claire shot back. Now girls, let's not fight, Lily interjected. She's right, you too. We're supposed to be helping Lily see how much fun it is being a girl, not trying to outbitch each other, Olivia said. Have any boys ever hit on you, Lily? With how pretty you are, I can see them following you around like dogs after a butcher's truck, Claire remarked. A bunch of them at the mall yesterday, and the manager at Zales asked us out for a drink, Lily replied. Us? Claire asked. Vicky and me, Lily clarified. She's gorgeous. I wish I looked like her, Jeanette chimed in. You go out in public dressed like that? Emily asked. Of course she does. I saw her at the KFC with the Hannaran girls, Olivia added. Yep, they're my cousins, Lily said. You're Alan Evans? My sister hates you with a passion, Claire revealed. Wait until I tell her you're my classmate here. I'm Lily Evans, and I don't want to get stripped. Lily exclaimed. Just then, Zoe approached as he finished his sentence. Sorry to interrupt the conversation, girls, but Lily needs to go back down to the office for a while. What are they doing to her? Claire asked. Just trying to determine if she's fit to be a girl, Zoe replied as Lily stood up. See you later, girls, Lily said as he walked off with Zoe. This isn't so bad, Lily said to Zoe. It isn't if you're a good girl, but Mom meant it when she said she doesn't have time for nonsense. Poor Jamie is going to have a tough time here, Zoe said. She's here because she seems to prefer her sister's clothes. We'll see how long that lasts for her. How do you know that? Lily asked. It's in their entrance interviews, but most of the girls are here because they got caught. Only 2 are forced this time, and 4 want to convert. That's why we do the psychological evaluations, to determine how to assist them all, Zoe explained. Despite the rumors, we're really not here to torture boys, though it does help that people think that, or the threat of a summer at St. Catherine's wouldn't scare many boys into behaving. When they arrived back at the office, the doctors were waiting for Lily, eager to continue. He returned to the conference room, where they resumed their endless barrage of questions, wanting to know every little detail about him. Finally, just before 2, Joyce buzzed to have Mrs. Hannaran come in. We've reached some preliminary conclusions, though our report will contain much more substance and detail. Since you're her aunt, we wanted to know if you'd like her to be present for this, Dr. Roth said. Well, Lily, are you man enough to find out if you're really a girl or not? May asked. I'd like to know what they think since I've heard what you've believed for years, Lily replied. Okay, continue, doctor, she said. Male personality development seems to have stagnated around age 9 or 10, followed by a period of ambivalence. After the trauma of his father's death, there was a regression to infantilism. From that point on, personality and intellectual growth have been decidedly feminine. The only reason we can determine for him not abandoning the male role earlier is that it provided his only source of individual identity in an otherwise all-female family. If he had had a male sibling or cousin to eliminate that, he most likely would have transitioned to a purely female role around age 12. In any case, it appears he has subconsciously worked at forcing you to follow through on your threats to turn him into a girl, thus avoiding personal accountability, Dr. Ryan explained. Dr. Roth added, that's why she fooled me initially regarding her gender and how long she has been demonstrating it. Additionally, her very obviously feminine appearance led us to wonder if she was trying to trick us again. So, what does all of this mean? Lily asked. Am I a girl, a boy, or what? You are a female living in a male body. When you mentioned that something snapped in your mind on the second day, it did. You realized you got what you wanted and didn't have to fight it any longer. It will take time, with help, for you to sort it all out in your own mind, but when you do, that is the conclusion you will reach, Dr. Roth continued. Why don't you head back down and rejoin your class now, Lily? I'll have the formal report later today or tomorrow, and we can go over it then with your mother, and then move forward, May suggested. Lily and May left the doctors to their work, Lily returning to the feminine hygiene class and May heading to her office to handle paperwork for a new class. At 2:20, there was a knock on the headmistress's door. Enter, May called out. It was Vicky. What brings you by today? I promised to give Lily a ride home from school, and I arrived a few minutes early, so I thought I'd drop by to say hello, Vicky said. That's sweet of you. By the way, how did your day out go? May asked. It was lovely and rewarding. Lily is letting more of her feminine personality shine through all the time, and the more she embraces it, the happier she seems. I think she'll be a girly girl by the end of the month, Vicky replied. I had her meet Rip and Roar, and she spent all day with them. They're currently writing their report, May said. Anything you can share with me, or just nod if they confirmed what we discussed on Saturday? Vicky asked. You know medical records are confidential, May said, nodding vigorously in agreement. But I'm sure Lily will have something to say about it, considering they kept her until just 20 minutes ago. Then she's in good shape, right? Vicky asked. You've monitored long enough to know the drill here, May replied. On a lighter note, how did Stephanie do today? Vicky inquired. She's in poise and etiquette class and got depantsed by the girls twice before lunch. The second time they took her gaff, so she's probably bow-legged in that wool skirt by now, May said with a chuckle. Any other standout students this year? Vicky asked. Probably 4 more, but I can't confirm anything until the doctors finish their evaluations, May replied. Is there any chance you could have a copy sent to Dr. Anderson? Lily and I are meeting him after school on Wednesday, Vicky requested. I'll have to clear it with Gertrude, of course, but I don't foresee any issues, dear, May said just as the bell began to ring. Bye, Vicky said. I only work until 1 on Wednesday, so we'll chat more then. Take care, sweet one, and look after my niece, May said. Vicky left the office and headed to Lily's classroom. Lily was just outside the door, chatting with a group of classmates when Vicky approached. Noticing the boisterous laughter, Vicky asked Lily, "Is there anything I should be jealous of?" "No, sweets. We were just organizing a walk-home posse so we don't get attacked on the way," Lily said. "Group, this is Victoria," Lily announced, pausing to catch her breath. Lily introduced Vicky to the other girls amid envious glances at the gorgeous redhead. She could see jealousy in some of their eyes and chose the most prominent one. "So you're Claire Peters, Isabel's little sister?" "Yes, that's me," she replied, standing tall at her 5 feet 9 inches. "I graduated with Bernie, she mentioned you," Vicky said. "Nothing good, I hope," Claire retorted. "She said you'd make a good engineer, something about designing dikes, as I recall," Vicky responded. "Did she also mention that she's like creamy peanut butter, smooth and easy to spread?" Claire asked, adding, "She's pregnant, you know." "As long as you're not the father, what can I say?" Vicky laughed. "Let's go, Lily. You've obviously had a busy day." "Bye, Lily, sweetie." "See you tomorrow for douching 101, Claire called, batting her eyelashes. "You two hit it off well," Lily remarked to Vicky as they walked toward the doors. "She's got a crush on you, honey." "I just wanted to make it clear that I'd defend my territory," Vicky said. "So what did you learn today?" Vicky asked once they got into her car. "That girls are gross, and the shrinks they hired think I might be one," Lily replied. "Except for the blood and guts, you are, honey," Vicky said. "Oh, my mom invited you for dinner. Want to come?" "I'm starting to realize that, and it's so damn confusing. When I was with the girls during social time and lunch, I felt like I fit in more and more every minute. No girl has ever stayed within 10 feet of me for that long before," Lily confessed. "That's because most of them thought they'd have to compete with you for a male organ. They don't realize that gender identity and sexual orientation are 2 different things," Vicky explained. "Huh? I'm confused," Lily admitted. "Do you look pretty today?" Vicky asked. "I think so, and I paid more attention to my posture like you advised." "Do you like this?" Vicky asked, popping her breast out of her bra. "Wow!" Lily exclaimed. "See? Feminine orientation, male sexual drive. If you were double-jointed, you could please yourself and enjoy it." As they pulled up in front of Lily's house, Vicky gave her a lingering, sensual kiss before they exited the car. "How was school today?" Gert asked when they walked into the house. "Oh, hello, Victoria, I didn't see you behind Lily." "Just an orientation day, Mom, trying to figure out what I need to learn. By the way, Vicky's mom invited me to dinner, is it okay if I go?" "You seem different tonight, sweetie. Are you all right?" Gert asked. "Like what, Mom?" Lily replied, making her way to the end table with the plie of her skirt in one hand to set down her purse. "I'm not sure, but I'll figure it out." "You must mean the girly stuff." "She was surrounded by 240 girls today, so some of it was bound to rub off," Vicky said. "Did you know Isabel Peters is pregnant, Mom?" "Her sister said she was 3 months along," Lily added. "Why, I'll have to keep an eye out and drop a hint," Gert replied. "If you'd like, you can join the O'Malleys for dinner, but keep an eye out for the old man, he has a penchant for anyone who fancies his daughters," Gert warned. "Don't worry, Lily. Daddy's a lazy cat, and I'll have to compete with him for your attention, Vicky said. Mom keeps him on a short leash when I have friends over. Aunt May called just after lunch and asked if I wanted to share dinner tonight anyway, so you and your cousins would have had to fend for yourselves here. The girls are staying with us for the week, Gert added. Well, girl, go change, and we'll have some time with Mom before Dad and Jenny arrive, Vicky instructed. Lily scampered upstairs on the balls of her feet, calling down from the landing, "What should I wear?" "The light blue skirt with the sailboats or the blue shirt dress," Vicky responded. Lily chose the shirt dress that Vicky had picked out for her the day before, pairing it with light blue suede sandals. She thought to herself, "I never climb stairs like that, Zoe and Tracy do." Putting on the shirt dress meant ditching the girdle and stockings in favor of a corset, along with a blue satin bra and slip. She figured she might as well change her panties to match and oil her legs so she could go without stockings. No wonder it takes us girls so long to get ready, there's so much to do. Once Lily was finished, she checked herself in the mirror, cinched the belt a little tighter, straightened the hem of her skirt, brushed her hair, and checked again. After washing off the light pink makeup, she reapplied dusty rose blush and lip color and a mauve shadow on her eyes. She gave herself one last look in the full-length mirror, thinking if there was anything she missed, Vicky would have to find it for her. It only took half an hour. "You're getting good at this, girl," she told herself as she headed back down the stairs. "I was wondering, but now I see it was worth the wait," Vicky remarked as Lily gracefully crossed the living room. "That is a beautiful dress, sweetheart, and it looks even prettier on you," Gert said. "Just try to be back by 9 since tomorrow is a school day, dear." "I'll have her back, ma'am, hopefully not so much before the wind as last night," Vicky said. "You'll be drinking again?" Gert asked. "Richard says a girl can't lie with Irish whiskey on her lips, so she could have a nip or two." "Well, be careful and have fun, girls." They made their way the 6 blocks to the O'Malley's house, with Vicky stealing glances at the delectable Lily while trying to keep one eye on the road. Susan O'Malley was sitting on the porch swing when the girls parked and headed over. After exchanging greetings, Vicky said, "You told me to bring home the boy I fancied for dinner one night, so here she is. She'll need a plate for supper, too." "Oh my!" Susan exclaimed. "Victoria Lynn O'Malley, one day you'll be the death of me." "I'll get the bottle out," Vicky said. "Let's head to the back so we don't chat here in the street. I have a roast in the oven, so one more person isn't a problem, but we won't eat until 6 when Fiona gets home," Susan replied. "She didn't call?" "I told her at noon to leave by 3:30 so she could help me if you fainted," Vicky said. "You're such a thoughtful daughter, any mother would be proud to fill a house with girls like you, Victoria Lynn," Susan said. Lily felt unsure of what to do. Obviously, Vicky's mom had just found out about the invitation, and Vicky had told her she was dating a boy. The only option was to follow her around like a puppy and stay quiet. They settled at the picnic table in the yard. Vicky poured 3 tumblers of Jameson's whiskey, one with ice for Lily, in consideration of her inexperience. After taking a hearty sip, Susan said, "You're such a lovely young lady, and I'm pleased to meet you." "So, you two are lovers?" "Mom, it's not quite as bad as you're making it sound. This is Alan Evans, just dressed more comfortably," Vicky explained. "No!" Susan exclaimed, taking a deep pull from her glass. "Ease up, Mom, or our guest will have to serve dinner," Vicky said. "We call her Lily when she's in this mood. Let me explain a bit before Dad gets here, and you need to be clear-minded enough to explain it to him, Mom," Vicky said, as she settled on her mother's lap. She recounted how Alan had come to be in this situation and referred to him in the past, how the change in wardrobe had affected his demeanor, and how he liked the new her, a sentiment that Vicky shared, regardless of what anyone else thought. As Vicky finished, Richard walked in through the back door. No one was out front, and the door was wide open. "Now I find my wife and daughter having a drink with a friend at 4 o'clock, what's going on here?" Vicky ran to her father, jumping into his arms and kissing his cheek. "Daddy! What have you been up to, lass?" "You've got the devil in your eye and your mother in a bottle," Richard said. Oh, nothing much, Daddy. This is Lily, a friend from school. We were just chatting a bit, and she'll be here for supper too. Would you like to join us for a drink? Vicky asked. Richard nodded, sensing that if his wife was indulging now, something must be off, especially after a long day at the plant. As Vicky headed to the kitchen for more glasses and ice for Lily, he approached her. Lily stood to greet him, but Richard towered a foot above her and was twice as broad. She meekly extended her hand, which Richard kissed before taking a seat beside Susan. Pleased to meet you, Lily. You're a friend of Victoria's from St. Leo's? And such a pretty lass. Maybe you'll lead my Vicky to a man, he said with a smile. Susan audibly gulped and quickly followed it with another swig of Jameson's. Richard took a small sip from her glass too. Vicky returned with the drinks and immediately noticed her dad's inquisitive look. She couldn't sit still, bouncing like a wind-up toy. After taking a big gulp, she burped and exclaimed, "Daddy, this is Lily, and I'm in love with her." But she used to be Alan, and he kinda still is, but not in a bad way. Understand, Dad? 3 pairs of vacant stares met her announcement. What? What on God's green earth? From the time you were born, I told your mother, Susan, this one will be a problem, and you haven't disappointed me yet, little girl. But now you've got me gasping, Richard said. Oh, I just love you to pieces, Daddy, she said, wrapping her arms around his neck and kissing his cheek. I saw how you looked at her when you came in, now tell me, man to man, isn't she a hot one? Vicky had her father wrapped around her little finger, and the love in his eyes was evident as she settled back down next to Lily. Lily was bewildered, something was amiss, and she had no idea what it was. Susan drained her glass and reached for the bottle. You need to call about the cemetery plots before 5, my darling, Richard reminded her. Lily, I was wondering when I'd see you here, and you're not on a rope in the alley yet. Dad must like you, Fiona called out as she walked in from the porch. Mom, the roast smells cooked, but I'll turn it down when I get my glass, Fiona said as she headed back inside. Wednesday, Dad. Lily and I are having dinner with Dr. Anderson, and I'll have him call you. Be good until then, Vicky said. Oh my God, potatoes! Susan exclaimed. Fiona, be a dear and throw the potatoes in with the roast. Let's go inside, I think the sun is getting to your mother, Richard suggested. They moved indoors, where Richard settled Susan on the couch before heading to the kitchen. Fiona, can you finish up dinner? He asked. You knew about this, and not a word to help a poor man prepare, he joked as he left. He gathered Vicky in one arm and Lily in the other, leading them to the parlor. After closing the door, he said, Now, what's going on here? With his hand resting heavily on her shoulder, Lily felt a surge of panic, but Vicky was still buzzing with energy. Richard sat them on the settee and took a seat in his leather reading chair. After taking a hearty swig of whiskey, he addressed them, Someone needs to explain this situation. I'm not sure which of you it is, but we need to talk, soon. Vicky hopped onto his lap, saying, Daddy, you know how I am. I can love a man like you as a father, but I could never take him as a partner. Lily can be a bit of a brat at times, but she's enough of a woman to satisfy that need, and enough of a man to give you grandkids, I hope. So she's really a he? Really? Richard asked, surprised. Show him Wee Willie, Lily, Vicky teased. No, that's okay. I trust you on that, you haven't, well, you know what I mean, right? He asked. Dad, you know I can't do that yet. I'm a good Catholic girl by force, Vicky replied. Has Vicky told you much about herself, Lily, or Alan, is it? Richard inquired. Some. She shared her struggles at school and how some of them came about, and how my aunt saved her life, Lily said. Wait, you're that Alan? I thought you and Fiona hated him, Richard remarked. I told Fiona to give him some time, and look, she did, Lily replied. So what's with the dress if you're really a boy? He asked. Daddy, I picked that one out for her. Don't you think it looks pretty? Vicky chimed in. Very pretty. You have good taste, honey, but buying your boyfriend a dress? Does she look like a boy, Dad? Be honest now, I saw you on the porch, remember? Vicky challenged. Well, no, she looks like a very beautiful girl, Richard conceded. Thank you, I think, Lily said. I'll make her wear pants to the wedding if need be, but until then, please just treat her like any of my girlfriends, okay? Vicky added. And Lily might need to crash here for a while, she mentioned. Crash? Richard echoed. Stay over for a month or two? Fiona knocked on the door signaling that dinner was ready. We'll see, Richard said as they headed for the dining room. Vicky took Lily over to the buffet and started handing dishes to her. Lily took them and set the table with Vicky right behind with the silver. The Lily followed with the glasses, while Vicky did the linens. Fiona brought out the roast on a platter with the potatoes, a basket of brown serves and a bowl of peas. Then she brought out a pitcher of milk and a gravy tureen. As the family gathered around the table, Richard asked the guests to say grace. Thank you, Jesus, for the bounty you have provided, and thank God for second chances, Lily said. Just as Richard started serving the meat to his family and guests, Jenny came through the door, dragging boxes and her wedding dress. A little help here. All three younger girls jumped up to her assistance and got the load under control. That is such a beautiful gown, I hope mine is as pretty, Lily said. Lily kissed Vicky goodnight on the porch and entered the house, surprised that the door was still unlocked. Zoe and Tracy were watching TV as she wobbled over to a chair on unsteady legs. You're wasted, Zoe said. Aren't we a little bit, ish, Mom home? Lily replied. No, the girls answered together. Tell you tomorrow, I'm gonna Betty bye, Lily replied. It took a bit, but Lily managed to negotiate the stairs to her room and undressed. She put on the red negligee and gossamer thin panties, and was asleep sometime during her head's descent toward the pillow. It was just 9:20, but she had had a long evening talking with Mr. O'Malley, then further with Vicky, and was as confused as ever. Mr. O'Malley had been obviously concerned with the welfare of his favored daughter, especially after she told him that this was the girl she thought she might marry someday. Vicky had told her that she needed to become a little more sexually experienced and suggested Claire as a good choice as long as Lily didn't become attached to her. That, and 3 tumblers of Jameson's, went straight to her head. Sometime in the night, she wasn't sure when, as her eyes refused to focus, she was awakened by a thumping on her pelvis. "TR" was all she got out before her cousin covered her mouth. Tracy leaned forward and whispered, "Told ya, I'd get my turn with the new slut, now shut up and take it." "Butcher, only 12B," Lily replied, still disoriented. It was too late to do anything about it though, as she felt herself fill with orgasm and start pumping semen into the unclothed 12-year-old straddling her thighs. She awoke again, this time to the sound of her alarm. Was that another dream? Not this time, as she saw Tracy lying next to her unclothed, except for a diaper. She quickly shut off the alarm, trying not to wake up the still sleeping Tracy, and went across the hall to where Zoe was just starting to stir in response to her alarm. She pulled Zoe out of the bed and led her back to where Tracy was just beginning to move. "What do I do now?" she asked. "Wait," Zoe replied. Zoe ran out on the room and returned with her one shot. The repeated flash brought Tracy out of her slumber. Tracy was still working on her awareness when Zoe said, "Now I got evidence, you're my summer whore, or Mom gets the pictures, you little bitch. You better just pray you're not knocked up, you tramp." "But you did it," Tracy said in a whiny voice, knowing she had only one out. "I did it orally, you dumb shit," and Lily was awake and sober then. Zoe replied. "She's your cousin, you dumb. What's gonna happen if you knocked yourself up raping her?" Tracy started whimpering, realizing there was no out left, especially as they had both made such a big deal of Lily's condition when she got home. Maybe Mom and Aunt Gert wouldn't remember, they were half lit too. Forget what you're thinking, worm, and Gert said her breath made the whole room smell like a distillery when she came up and set her alarm. Zoe said. Coffee. I need coffee. Lily said, breaking up the sister fight and starting for the door. Put your robe on, you poor dear, your panties are still in the bed. Zoe said. Lily pulled her robe on and worked her way to the stairs, still a little unsteady. She managed to get down them without falling, and almost ran into her aunt, who was on her way to see what the noise was. It's okay, Aunt May, it's just those two arguing again. Lily said. I know one girl who must have had fun last night, May said. More like killing the pain. You ever met Vicky's dad? Lily asked. Oh yeah, a bit imposing, isn't he? May answered. Imagine trying to convince him you're not a pervert trying to corrupt his favorite daughter? Lily said, as she headed for the coffee pot. Your arms and legs are still attached, it must have worked, May said as she sat at the table to join Lily and Gert. Your aunt said you heard what the doctors said, we must talk about it. Gert said. Not now, I'm in no condition to have a serious discussion. Lily said. I feel like I got hit in the head with a hammer. You look the part too, we've got to get you cleaned up before your classmates think you're a lush, Gert said. Slowly and painfully, Lily managed to collect herself. Lots of coffee, a cold shower, and 3 repeats of Listerine later, she was almost presentable. She remembered enough about yesterday to choose the gabardine uniform skirt and the cotton blouse to wear over her basic white foundation garments. A lot of work with her hair, makeup, and 2 rinses with Vicine later, she was functional. Her cousins barely had time for toast and milk before it was time to leave for school. The 3 of them walked in silence for a while until Tracy broke the quiet. Did I get seconds last night? You'd better shut up, you little whore, or I'll tell your mother how I woke up this morning, Lily shot back. I don't think so, you'll get punished again, Tracy retorted. Things are different now, you better behave, Lily warned. What do you mean? Tracy asked, curious. You'll see, but I'm not putting up with your nonsense anymore, Lily replied firmly. Tracy fell silent, and Zoe giggled as they completed their walk in silence. They entered the gym just in time, and Lily made her way to her group of girls. You look rough this morning, did our favorite girl get lucky last night? Claire teased. Lily could only smile weakly, trying to push aside the memories of last night. You'll have to tell us what it's like from the other side, Olivia added. Is it that obvious? Lily asked, feeling exposed. A girl can always tell when another girl is fresh, and it's written all over you. That little redhead must have gotten you drunk before taking advantage of you, Vivian said. Fortunately, Aunt May called the group to attention for announcements, cutting off the questioning. Lily felt grateful for the reprieve, as it gave her time to think of a plausible story other than what had happened with a 12-year-old. After the announcements, Zoe led Lily away to speak with Mrs. Hannaran, offering another escape. Is it that obvious? Lily whispered to Zoe as they left. Very. But it was worse a couple of hours ago, Zoe replied. Let's have some fun. As they passed by the group of girls Tracy was monitoring, Zoe turned to her sister and asked in a stage whisper, Are your diapers still dry, sis? Angel, clearly a convert, was the first to chime in. Are monitors in diapers? What kind of place is this? She asked, gathering around Tracy for more questions. Lily and Zoe exchanged amused glances as they continued on to the principal's office. That'll keep her busy all morning, Zoe said with a grin. May motioned for Lily to sit and sent Zoe back to her group. I spoke with your mother last night about forwarding your report to Dr. Anderson. He's a psychiatrist specializing in gender disorders and a friend of Vicky's, since I heard you're meeting him tomorrow. Your mother insisted I get your approval, but it seems Vicky is always a step ahead of us. She already mentioned him and what he does. That's why she wanted me to meet him in a semi-official manner before dinner. If he has the report, it'll likely save him from asking me all those questions again, so I guess it's fine, Lily replied. There was a knock on the door, and May told the visitor to come in. It was Jamie. You seem in a better mood today, May noted as Lily prepared to leave. Stay a moment, Lily, you might be able to help a fellow student. You're scheduled to meet with a pair of analysts this morning to help you explore your feminine side, May explained. I don't have a feminine side, Jamie protested. Then your parents were mistaken when they forced you into your sister's ball gown, shoes, makeup, and lingerie, May countered. Well, no, Jamie conceded. That's what we're here for, to help you deal with the obvious female tendencies you displayed, understand them, and act accordingly. Ha! You wouldn't want to go to the mall in a skirt and walk like a football player, would you? Well, no, but who would wear a skirt to the mall unless they're a girl? Lily here did on Sunday, and who would stroll around their backyard in a gown and heels unless they were a girl? But you're really a girl, aren't you? Jamie asked. No, I'm not, and I don't think I'll ever become all girl, Lily responded. But I'm not a queer. Jamie insisted. I have male plumbing and prefer using it with girls, but I feel much more comfortable appearing like this, Lily explained. It's not so bad, Jamie, they're really nice and try not to embarrass you. I was with them all day yesterday, Lily added. Your parents may not be pleased to discover you have a feminine side, but they are willing to help you understand it. You should be grateful. Many people are born in the wrong gender body, while others have aspects of their brain, hormones, or enzymes that affect their gender identity. Understanding these elements can help you control them rather than letting them control you, May explained. It's true, Jamie. Fighting it, denying it, and resisting it will only make you miserable, I know, Lily added. Well, you should get to class, Lily. Jamie, come with me, we need to meet the doctors, May said. Lily headed to her class and felt her cheeks flush a deep red when she saw the Massengill and long-nosed bottle on her desk. I was just explaining to the other girls that this is one of many products available to clean the vagina of blood, body fluids, and other things, and to help prevent infections, the nurse said, pointing to it on the large overlay chart. Here's a list of products and their uses. She handed Lily a printout. Lily spent most of the morning blushing as the nurse went over the various sanitary needs of women and how to manage them. Finally, lunchtime arrived, and Lily wasn't sure if she preferred the questions about feminine intimacy from a male perspective or the details of how females dealt with the mess. They gathered around Lily as they had the previous day. As the class brought around their lunches, the questions resumed as if there had been no interruption. That little redhead must be really something, Vivian said. Is her cat hair red too? I don't know, Lily replied, then thought for a moment. Yes, it's as red as the rest. She really put you through it. Is she good? Vivian pressed. I don't know, it wasn't her I was intimate with, Lily said. A chorus of "Oh, who is it then?" erupted from the table. I'm not telling. Who do you have intimacy with? Lily countered, directing the attention back to Vivian. Everyone knows it's Paul, except my parents, of course, they'd freak out, Vivian answered. I thought you told Mrs. Clark you were a virgin yesterday, Lily said. So I lied, big deal, Vivian replied. Then tell us what it's like. I want to know what to expect, Olivia chimed in. I don't remember much, I was kind of drunk, Lily admitted. Want one you'll remember? Claire offered. Lily smiled and said, Excuse me a minute, I need to go talk to someone. Hi, Jamie, Lily said as she approached her. How was this morning? It wasn't bad at all. Thanks for talking to me earlier, Jamie replied. So what did they tell you? Lily inquired. Just that I have a small female self that I need to connect with sometimes, and if I ignore her, I'll end up a frustrated mess like I was before, Jamie explained. They sat and chatted for a few more minutes until the bell rang, signaling the end of the feminine hygiene session. Both girls were eager to move on to Grace in heels, acknowledging they would likely wear many pairs in their lives. They discovered they lived just 4 blocks from each other and decided to form the same posse for the walk home. The posse gathered at 2:30 in front of the school, as the school administration didn't want any students, especially the special girls, walking home alone. Lily, Claire, Angela, Angel, Jamie, Bonnie, and Zoe and Tracy all assembled for the walk. "Where's the Red Avenger?" Claire asked as Lily joined the group. "She has to work until 9 tonight, so I get to walk on Tuesdays and Thursdays," Lily replied. Angel was the first to drop off as they passed her house, then Bonnie, and when they reached Lily's house, she instructed Zoe and Tracy to tell her mom she was going to Claire's for a little while. Claire gave them her phone number, and the 3 girls walked the remaining 3 blocks to the corner where Claire's home was located, with Jamie living half a block north. They made sure she reached her porch safely before she went inside. "Mom, this is Lily from school, we're going up to talk for a while," Claire announced as she set her things down and led Lily upstairs by the hand. "Check on Isabel, she hasn't come down all day," her mom called after them. When Lily saw Bernie, she realized she wasn't the only one who had staggered home last night. She was still a mess at 3 in the afternoon. "Who's that?" Bernie asked. "Lily, from school," Claire replied, both girls searching for any sign of recognition from Bernie. "She doesn't recognize you at all, Lily." "Let me get out her yearbook so I can see what you used to look like," Claire said. They sat on the bed and flipped through the few pictures of Alan in the book. After several minutes of studying, Claire exclaimed, "No. No way, that can't be you. Who are you really? You saw my house, my cousins, my aunt, who else in this neighborhood would live there or admit those 2 are related to her?" Lily said. Okay, we'll stop by there tomorrow, and I'll see for myself, but right now, just kiss me, damn it," Claire insisted. Half an hour later, Lily adjusted her skirt to cover herself and started searching for her panties on the floor. Claire, who had completely undressed except for her skirt, was up first since she had been on top and picked up her bra and blouse. Lily, still in a euphoric daze, stumbled as she tried to retrieve her panties. "Are you bending over for me?" Claire teased. "I'd love to take you like that." "Like what?" Lily asked, confused. "From behind with my dildo, silly girl," Claire replied. "But I don't have a female organ between my thighs, how can you do that?" Lily protested. "Stay there, and I'll show you," Claire said playfully. "No, that's okay, I think I can imagine," Lily said, just as they heard Claire's mother hollering up the stairs. Claire opened the door and responded, "I've been calling for you for 5 minutes, Annie." "What are you 2 doing up there?" "Lily has a phone call," her mom said. "She'll take it in your room, okay?" Claire replied. Lily listened to her mom for a few moments before saying, "Sorry, Mom. I'll be there in about 10 minutes, let me say goodbye to Bernie and Claire." After saying her goodbyes, Lily headed home. When she entered, Gert said, "I told you this morning that we need to talk today. I expected you to come straight home." "I'm sorry, Mom, it won't happen again." "What's so urgent that we need to discuss?" Lily asked. "Several things. I've sent the girls home and made tea. Sit down, and let's talk. Have you decided what you want to do with your life yet?" "After yesterday's talk with the doctors, I'm thinking about staying a girl. I mean college or work." "Oh, that. I don't have to enroll until mid-July, so I have a month to decide. You'll be 18 a week from Friday, so you need to make a decision by this Friday so I know what to tell the bank." "The bank? Why them?" "I've mentioned several times that your dad left something for you." "He did? What is it?" "Let me start from the beginning, since it seems Alan wasn't listening. Your father was devoted to his family and left behind 3 insurance policies worth $500,000 each. One has provided us with food and clothing for the last 7.5 years and will continue to do so if invested wisely. One was left to me to help me adjust and enjoy my life after you were raised, as he knew I would devote myself to your upbringing until now. The last one was left to you in a trust. Depending on what you decide this week, the trust will start dispersing funds, giving you some access to the money. I'm not following you. Why does that matter? Your father, believe it or not, paid very close attention to your development. He was the first to notice your femininity, even before Aunt May. He told her about it. He also observed that you were somewhat unappreciative of the value of education and hard work. So what does all that mean? Edward, rest his soul, specified that if you choose to live as a girl, you would need more financial support than if you remained a boy. As an incentive to encourage you to pursue an education, he stipulated that the payments would be higher if you enrolled in college by the birthday following your graduation. That's why I held off as long as I could before allowing May to step in with you. I hoped you might take initiative on your own. So it was Aunt May who pushed you into this? Lily remarked, gesturing to her outfit. We've been deliberately discussing this within earshot for the last 3 years, child. Are you deaf? No, I heard you talking, I just didn't think you would actually go through with it. I was hoping not to, that you would figure it out on your own. Now that it's done, I'm sorry I waited so long. You seem so much happier and content with yourself in just the past few days. How could you two be so certain? May is 6 weeks away from her doctorate in abnormal psychology, and you are the star of her thesis. Dr. Anderson, whom you'll meet tomorrow, is on the board of the department and has been her mentor for the past 4 years, although he doesn't know you are the subject of her paper. She became interested in you 8 years ago when she convinced the board to allow special girls into the school. If your father had lived, it's very likely that your junior high would have been St. Catherine's. Dad would have done that? No way. We discussed it extensively, and at the time, I understood his reasoning and should have followed through, but I lost my nerve when he passed away and allowed things to drift, hoping you would take the initiative on your own. Then why were you both so harsh with me when this started? You needed a significant disruption in your normal pattern to trigger this change, and you have to admit that many people owed Alan a reckoning. When you read your aunt's dissertation, you'll see that she and Dr. Anderson predicted you would become an unmanageable antagonist if you didn't address the conflict between your outward gender and your inner self.